It's time once again for another edition of our Alumni Spotlight presented by Alumni Hall, the official online store of WKU Athletics. As we sit down with an alumna of WKU volleyball to reflect on her career as a Hilltopper and on her career and life since leaving the Hill. I'm Brett Williams, and today my guest is a member of the class of 2016, another middle blocker in this great tradition at that position for WKU volleyball, the former Noelle Langenkamp. It's Noelle Anyigbo. How you doing today, Noelle?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're very welcome. Always enjoy these conversations. And as I mentioned, another tremendous decorated middle here. You were a two-time first-team all-conference pick, two-time second-team all-conference pick, and interestingly enough, had a second team and a first team in both the Sun Belt and Conference USA as your career spanned the change of the conferences for WKU. You also were a four-time regular season champ, so two on each side, a couple of NCAA tournament appearances, two appearances in the second round as well. So another tremendous career. When you look back on all of it, what are some of your favorite memories?
So that is an easy one for me. I would say when we beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin my senior year, it was the night that they were unveiling their Big Ten championship banner. And it was just electric. It was such a fun environment with such a special group of girls. So that's a night that I'll never forget.
That was one of those nights that really put WKU in the national stratosphere, right? Because obviously this program has been a powerhouse for 20 years or so now, but those are the nights where it was, hey, let the nation know that the red towel exists and it's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a fun one. I don't think that anyone expected us to knock Wisconsin off that year, being ranked 5 in the country, but we always were able to knock off the big ones. And that was something that I really loved about my time at Western.
Well, I mentioned those two second-round NCAA tournament appearances as well. You were actually part of the team that got over the hump in the NCAA tournament for WKU, got that first-ever victory against Loyola Marymount as a freshman, and then wrapping it back around your senior year, also got a win against Arizona to advance in that tournament. What was it like being a part of that historic moment for this program, and then to be able to bring it full circle and do it again as a senior?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest goals for me was to leave the program better than I found it. And I think that that was a really, pivotal time for myself, my career in the program. So it was cool. It was cool to have the platform and, you work so hard to get there. And so it's cool when you finally accomplish that.
And you mentioned about your legacy here. And, one of the things that a lot of fans will notice and certainly remember all of your different records, 5th all-time in career hitting percentage. And one of the really impressive ones, although I don't think it's going to last a whole lot longer, as some of these fifth-year players, Hallie Shelton and probably even Kaylin Jackson, are going to surpass it. But as it stands now, you are tied for having played more matches than any other Hilltopper in history. So what does that mean to you with all the different players who have worn this jersey and built this thing up, as Travis would say, brick by brick?
Yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Western was to make an immediate impact. And like I mentioned, I'm a big believer that we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. So they put us in the position to be able to capitalize on a lot of the things that we were able to achieve. I'm proud, but I hope that, you reference some of these other players beating the record. Like, that's what we want. That's what I want to see. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly, again, that whole theory has worked its way through this program about taking it for the next generation and continuing to improve upon everything that has been done. Obviously, these days it seems harder and harder for this team to surpass itself. There's so many records that they've already hit, and how high can they go? But that's the great part about following this team is you never know what's next. So I'll ask you this, too, as we continue to think about legacies, and Travis Hudson just has his, and not only with this program, but every single person who has ever come through here. So I love to ask this question: how has he influenced you, not only as a player, but as a person and throughout your life?
Absolutely. So Travis showed me that putting your people first is the key to success. He also showed me what a true winning culture and environment looked like, which helps me to this day. So I'm very grateful for that. But ultimately I decided to come to Western because it felt like home. And being removed from the program 5 years, I still feel like Western is a part of who I am. And it's a chapter in my journey that I'll never forget.
And you mentioned your home, too, originally from Cincinnati, back in Cincinnati now. Why don't you catch up Hilltopper Nation as to what you've been doing since graduation?
Yeah, so I work for Cintas now. I'm a sales rep. So just, yeah, I'm back with my family, which is awesome. Almost all of us live here. So being back home is great. Kenny and I have a little girl, Luna Grace. She turns to October 23rd, so it's just a fun
Oh,
time.
wow. Yeah, that's coming up, what's that, 9 days from now? So
Yeah,
that'll be
yep.
exciting.
We have a
And
big party for her.
absolutely. And speaking of that, just the following week after that will be the homecoming here, alumni weekend, a chance for you to get back down here and reconnect with a lot of these guests we've been having these alumni spotlight. How excited are you to come back into Diddle?
I'm so excited. When we got the email from Christy, I was immediately, starting a group chat with everyone trying to get us all to come down because, when you come back to Western, you truly do feel like it's a big family and like you're home. And so it's really fun to be able to do that. And after COVID, I think, or, during this time, I think it's even more important for us to get together. So it'll be fun.
And the last thing I have for you, Noelle, is whether you get a chance to talk to the team then or just in theory, when you look at what they've accomplished, what they still have in front of them, what would you tell them in this moment?
I would tell them that there will never be another time in your life like this one. All of the obstacles that you face, it sets you up to win big in the next chapter of your life. So just embrace it. I would tell them that, compete and to just enjoy all of the relationships that you've built over this time because there's truly like no other, in the next step. And I would tell them to leave it all on the court.
Well, I don't have any doubt that that's what they'll be doing from here on out. So love to hear that. Love talking with you as well. Noelle Anyigbo, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for continuing to stay connected to this great program, and appreciate you joining us on this Alumni Spotlight.
Absolutely, Brett. Thank you so much.